lost the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Out by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, January 5th. Hope everyone has had a good weekend. I hope you've tried to stay warm. If you haven't stayed warm, I know rain has been coming down this afternoon, which I guess that's probably worse that it's raining. So it'll probably be freezing tomorrow, so never mind. Sorry. Tomorrow morning's going to suck. Please be safe tomorrow morning if you're listening to this on your way to work in the morning. Turn it down and focus on the road. Turn it back up once it warms up.
There you go. Yep.
I don't want there to be an accident and my voice is playing over your radio. You've seen those videos like the car upside down, the music's just playing.
Yeah,
quiet.
I've actually
just us talking.
My first wreck, I forget what I was listening to, but like the cops showed up and they're like, "Can you turn your radio down?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, that was the last thing I was like thinking about."
Yeah, I don't want that to be us. We don't want to be in that situation. But yeah, I hope everybody's had a good weekend. I know after yesterday, probably about 3:00, I was feeling very good. I mean, it's going to take a lot to bring me down after that just undressing of John Calipari. Why? Because I'll be brought down?
I'm just, at some point, like there's going to, I think you'll say the opposite on the show at some point, maybe later on in the season.
Well, it'll reset probably tomorrow.
Okay. But this game in general
like
is what
Saturday at 3 p.m. It would have taken a lot.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Watching, I forgot, Landon, how much I missed SEC basketball. Watching John Calipari actually stomp his feet like a child, like a toddler, really reminded me how much I love it. And reminded me how much I love watching Rick Barnes just take his ass behind the woodshed and beat it like the petulant child he is. I mean, talk about pants down. He made him go get his own switch and whooped him with it.
Yeah, what's the record against them two? Is it 12-10? Rick Barnes, and there was some bad Tennessee teams in that.
Yeah, and I texted the only Kentucky fan I like, and told him, I said that was for you. I just want you to know, like, it wasn't just for you, but we also did it for you a little bit.
Well, this wasn't the Arkansas Razorbacks; it was the Arkansas Wildcats. So
there's even a Wildcat in there.
Yeah, it felt like you were beating a Kentucky team.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I don't think anything will really bring football season back, like what happened there. But it didn't make me feel worse about it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That I'll say that. On the Volcat thing, on Jonas Adu, I likened it to Tennessee's feelings on the football feelings on the transfer portal this season. I did not participate in the booing because it's fun. It kind of just part of sports. You leave the team, they're of course going to hate you.
Yeah.
I wasn't that mad he left.
No. I don't think anybody really. I just think it.
I think there's some people who are like, "How dare you leave us?"
Yeah, I think most fans would probably agree with you.
I think they all would agree with me, but a lot of them are also in the boat of, how dare you leave us?
Yeah, maybe it's
like,
not as much as like
thank you.
leaving as much as it is like where you went and who you're playing for.
Oh, see, I love that because I'm like, this even more so. Who's the better coach? Seems like Rick Barnes might have gotten more out of Jonas Adu than Calipari does.
Jonas Adu was all SEC. He ain't gonna be all SEC in Arkansas.
My favorite thing is they brought in Ivisic, however you say his name.
Yeah, Big Z.
Yeah, and they actually let him stretch the floor, and he's playing from behind the arc. Jonas Adu took one shot from behind the arc, and it was awful.
Wasn't too good at the free throw line either.
That might be the worst start for a transfer of all time. You get an offensive foul for your illegal screen, second time down the court, first half court set, and then your first opportunity, you go 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Or 0 for 1. I thought he shot 2 free throws. He did. Okay, 0 for 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough scene.
And I know they wait till the second half for the free Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, get a pulse. You got to come over the intercom and be like, we're giving it to you for that one. That's it.
We'll fuel on the fire.
Yep.
Yeah, just I think it's apparent Tennessee upgraded in their front court with Okpara and Igor. Losing Adu, which all SEC, Toby Awaka, who was really good at times. He was also on the bench a lot because he had foul trouble. I think when we lost them, there was kind of that sense of, oh crap, what are we gonna do? But now that you have replaced them, Tennessee definitely got the better end of that deal.
Yeah, I think Tennessee won the transfer portal in that, and I'd probably be more upset if Tennessee had not won the transfer portal. Like I would be more mad at Jonas Adu, but seeing as I think they did, I was able to be completely fine with it.
Yeah.
And yesterday especially, missed his shot blocking ability. Doesn't really matter though, because we're also talking about a guy who had 3 blocks. He also only had 5 rebounds. I really would prefer the rebounding than the blocking.
I mean, he had a whole lot of nothing but 2 fouls and a turnover at the end of the first half. It was rough go for Jonas Adu. Yeah, he was all SEC. He should be a little bit better, and he was a little bit better in the second half, but still wasn't able to do anything. I mean, a lot of those you could say probably was garbage times. As soon as Chaz Lanier hit those back-to-back threes, I mean, nail in the coffin, it was over.
Yeah, and really it was one of those that with most teams going into halftime up 15, you feel really good. We talked about it on Thursday with this team. They play from behind well, and so you just never know. I thought Tennessee would play well against this team for 20, 30 minutes. To see them just put it on them, pour it on them for almost 40 minutes. I mean, the Arkansas runs were few and far between. They did not last long. That was impressive to see. You got a long road in the SEC. I mean, we saw it yesterday. There's some teams in this conference, but to start like that, that's an impressive showing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to win a lot of games if you can rebound like that and defend the way that you are. Because I don't think Tennessee played flawlessly. I mean, they shot pretty good. There were some guys who didn't have a great night. Gainey was one of them,
and they went through some really tough stretches of not great half-court offense.
Yeah,
but their defense just carries. I mean,
well, and they're just better in every facet of rebounding, passing.
The rebounding's crazy
scoring,
because
everything.
I mean, you could see it in the block category. That Arkansas team is much more lengthier than Tennessee. Yeah. They looked size-wise were very much outmatched, and the Vols are carried by Igor Milicic, 51 rebounds. That's 51-29 is an insane margin.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had 24 offensive. They had 29 total.
Yeah.
Like,
Second
that's
chance
crazy.
points. I mean, which there were. We did have some Angel Reese moments. I don't remember who it was. Igor. I think he got to count 3 rebounds in one possession. But hey,
It counts.
they count. It goes on the stat sheet, baby.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, that was an ass whooping. That felt good to kind of start SEC play because you've seen so much talk about. Look at Auburn. You know they should be the number 1 team in the country. Look at their schedule. Look at Tennessee's schedule. They haven't played anybody. Well, I mean, a little newsflash: Tennessee just took care of a number 23 Arkansas team, who is the best transfer portal class in the country, and they beat an Illinois team who beat the absolute brakes off Oregon a couple days ago. That was ranked like 11th. So, yeah, those are 2 really good wins. And also, it's kind of like Florida's schedule. Like, they scheduled guys, teams that have like a big name, thinking they would be something, and they just haven't turned out to be really good basketball teams. Can't really help that before the season.
yeah. No, it's and especially in this era, and transfer portal is going to affect teams even more in basketball when you only have 5 guys on the court. And it should play in Arkansas's benefit, and I think they'll be fine down the stretch. I think they'll find themselves. I think that Arkansas team will find themselves in a good spot come March. But on January 5th, they just got their ass absolutely whooped. I don't. This question about could this team be the one that gets us to the Final Four? And someone also tweeted that Dalton Connect was irreplaceable. You can replace Dalton Connect's points. You can't replace what Dalton Connect does. But this team knows how to play within themselves. I think you're getting better offensive minutes from Jamal Meshack. Chaz Lanier can absolutely shoot the ball, and he's got a quick trigger. If Igor Milicic plays like that, you have a massive advantage that not a lot of teams are going to carry. That will win you a lot of ball games. Now, for like 30 minutes of that game, you had 0 bench points. I know at halftime you had 0.
Who did?
Tennessee.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they have 0 bench.
But I think it was 30 minutes of basketball, pretty dang close to it without bench points.
Yeah.
So this team's gonna have to find some bench points, and I think Jordan Gainey will. Yesterday wasn't his best day,
and there's been times this year where Tennessee's had 30 or 35 bench points with Cade Phillips and Jordan Gainey. The good thing is you didn't really need it yesterday.
No, you didn't.
You will in some games, and hopefully they're there to kind of pick up that slack a little bit. You know, you're not going to have. I don't think Chaz Lanier goes off for 29 points, but man, does 29 points look so effortless to him.
I would have never guessed he scored 29 in that game. It's insane.
Like it just felt like when Dalton Connect went off, like it was just like his show.
Right.
But Chaz Lanier just kind of does it within the offense. There's spurts where he kind of has his way, but it's not like I don't really know how to explain it. It's not like he's taking over a basketball game. It's kind of the whole team does, but he's just the one benefiting the most.
And you need to go back and watch some games from this year, some games from last year. But we know that Dalton Connect was the focal point of that Tennessee offense. Everyone knew the ball was coming in down the court, especially when Tennessee needed points. In this offense, you have Zakai Ziegler, you have Igor, you have Jamal Meshack who can score. If Jordan Gainey's in the game, they'll try and get the ball to him. I think Chaz Lanier can. You talked about it. He can play kind of his game within this offense. I think that allows him to do that. He can come off. He can pop off screens, without getting double teamed, because they can't just focus on Chaz Lanier. If they do, then that's another note of what this Tennessee team did. You had 4 guys in double digits, starters in double digits. Jamal Meshack only shot the ball 4 times. Yeah, that's a starter that just didn't need to play offensively. He didn't play offensively, or he didn't shoot the ball that much because he didn't need to.
Yeah.
You won't see many games this year that Jamal Meshack only shoots the ball 4 times. At least I hope. I hope not in the sense of he's good enough to be involved more, but also you have 4 guys who were very involved and scored points. So he didn't need to yesterday. It's a very well-rounded basketball team. I don't know if this basketball team will be better than last year's. We've said it many times. I do think all around this team's probably a little more sound.
Yeah. I think they're more athletic. I think they're better in the, we talked about the front court. They're better there. And I think just having that nucleus of Jemai and Zakai back is super helpful. You kind of get them to carry over from last year, learn some things, and I think at times it just felt like it was, if Dalton Connect was getting double teamed, it seemed like it had to be Zakai. Where on this
Right.
team, I don't think it has to. Like, there is Jordan Gainey, there is, Jemai seems like he could be capable, and Igor. I mean, I know Agpara isn't like the offensive guy, but man, he does a great job of cleaning stuff up around the basket.
Yeah.
Early on in the season, we're like, man, the guy can't catch, he has no touch, and now he's just like, he's a solid 8 to 10 points every single game, and he's in there because he's a rim protector. And yeah, he doesn't have to have a ton of blocks, but guys aren't going flying in there trying to, shoot a layup or a float or anything with Felix Agpara standing in the middle.
Yeah.
No easy
absolutely.
baskets.
No. This team's a lot tougher, just physically. Rick Barnes said he doesn't think the defense is quite as good as it was last year. That defense was very good last year. I disagree with Rick Barnes. I think this defense 1 through 5 is better than last year, especially at this time, because Dalton Connect wasn't playing his best defensive basketball in January of last year.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm excited for this team. You get Florida. I know we're going to talk more about this game. I'm just kind of running through it, but you get Florida on Tuesday night. A Florida team that looked really good on Saturday did lose to Kentucky 106 to 100. Is that what the final was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that game was on before ours, and good God, it took, probably 15 minutes for the last 2 minutes to get over with.
That's college basketball. I texted, I had someone drop me off, pick me up from the game. There were 3 minutes left, and I said the game will be over in about 30 minutes. And I was like, that's too long. The game was over in about 30 minutes. Or sorry. By the time the game ended and I got out of there, it was about 30 minutes. So probably 15 and 15. College basketball, the final really 4 minutes is just brutal. It's tough. Take a review out of sports. Especially
that's another thing.
Especially when you're getting your ass whooped.
They had a review in it too, that in those last couple minutes. I'm like, it was like with 20 seconds left. I'm like, the game is over. There's no need for this.
My favorite Arkansas / Calipari moments yesterday were, he argued so when he stomped Landon was after, I can't remember which player it was, kicked someone on the baseline in midair, which should be a flagrant one, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
How it's not is beyond me. He did not like that call. And then I was told that we should, and I think we should the next time Tennessee plays any Calipari coach team, because apparently it may not be the one he's at this year, or Buzz Williams at Texas A&M. We should time how many minutes they're on the court, and they should get credited for that.
Okay. I like that.
And it's pretty, I think we've talked about this with Buzz Williams. It's pretty remarkable that in the first half, when Tennessee is on offense on their end of the court, that Buzz Williams and John Calipari have a really, really hard time of staying in the coach's box. They have a really hard time of staying off the court. But in the second half, Landon, it seems like they know exactly where the lines are at. And that's weird to me. I don't know why. I don't know how that is the case. Maybe it just takes them a half of really understanding. Every basketball court's a little different. They're all measured just a hair different. Every game you go to, they're a little bit different. Arena's a little bit different. So maybe it just takes them 20 minutes to figure it out. But I don't, maybe we should ask him about that. He likes to talk about shoot arounds. Maybe he'll talk about his spatial awareness in the first half versus the second half.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he would have had a shoot around, maybe he would have been better at that in the first half.
If Calipari has any sense of humor, he will never have a shoot around ever before he plays Tennessee. So he always has that card in his back pocket if he has any sense of humor.
Agreed. Yeah, that's a pretty crazy. I mean, it came off like, I mean, it was straight up an excuse, is what it was.
He's done it twice. He's 2 or 3 times now. He's done it twice for sure.
Yeah, and he loves the word manhandle.
Yeah. I also feel like he dropped a Jay Billis thing in there with the whole fist fight thing, which is comical. And I know Tennessee plays really physical defense, but it's really frustrating to see any team Tennessee plays get to play as hard as they want and chippy as they want. And then the refs just and this goes both ways. I mean, I would be fine with them getting it under control on our defensive end early too, because they just don't. They decide they don't know how to officiate the game, so they're going to call random ticky tack stuff, like stuff that people have gotten away with all game. They decide randomly within the game. That's a foul now.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think he took a shot at the refs without taking a shot at the refs by calling it a fist fight. First rule Fight Club, John. Don't you know?
I mean, are they not the way Tennessee rebound the basketball? You better be lucky it wasn't a fist fight. I mean, you would not be breathing today.
Yeah, yeah. Which there was one at the end. Again, I don't know what a flagrant one is. I don't know what a technical is. It was either Trayvon Brazil or Thero, I can't remember which one, in the Tennessee backcourt, takes 3 hacks as Zakai, misses the first 2, and then smacks the shit out of them on the third one. That's got to be a technical. Tennessee rebounds the ball. The dude's clearly frustrated. He just misses. Finally gets him on the third one, and you're going to call it a common foul? Blows my mind. Let's have, these refs know basketball, right? Like, they've seen basketball. Like, that's not a basketball foul.
Well, what's funny about Thero is they kept saying, like, oh, that's an NBA body. That's an NBA body. I was like, dude, this dude kind of sucks. He has 6 points. And I looked it up. He's averaging like 17. I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah. He's balling out this year. Yeah.
This is like their star player. And he's garbage.
Yeah.
I thought DJ Wagner was going to go off when he was 3 for 3. I was like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah.
Me cooled off, too. So.
Well, we're also I think he hit 2 from the corner. Kind of like wide open where they just move the ball really well, and he hits 2 corner threes. And someone in the back is like, why will we not defend him? I was like, we're giving him deep corner threes. Like, that's a okay shot to give up. They're just hitting them. Like, what? Yeah. What are you going to do about it? It turns out, Landon, didn't matter. Woodshed. Belt meat ass.
Yeah, that was fun. Also, did you see Zakai when he made a layup on Adu and he had some words for him?
Yeah, that's competitiveness. I
love that, dude.
I don't know what their relationship's like. I will say one thing that's annoying to see is a guy like Josiah like laughing about him transferring and the fans disliking him, and it's like I get that like you all don't have the same love and ties to Tennessee, but how does a guy like Zakai Ziegler, who loves Tennessee, who wanted to be here this year, how does he feel about a guy like Jonas transferring? Like that I'm like, I get it from Josiah's perspective. He doesn't care, whatever. But you guys were teammates. I don't know. From a fan perspective, I'm not like, screw you, Josiah. But I'm like, what does a guy like Zakai Ziegler feel like? What is he thinking? Because like you said, he transferred in league. You had to play him.
Yeah. And that's the thing with like he could have went probably anywhere. And I think that's probably what fuels the fire. I mean, if Toby Awaka, they might play in a tournament, and maybe it's a bigger deal.
We'll still boo the
but
shit out of him.
right, but like when you're gonna play on somebody's home court and you know it, I don't know. He was not up for the challenge, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, he could have went anywhere, decided to go there, and so he deserved what he got.
Yeah.
You make your bed.
It was fun. I'm glad it happened. It was fun.
Yeah.
Added a little bit of intrigue to this matchup. That needed some. I mean,
well,
Tennessee
also
poured it on them. It was a boring affair as far as I'm concerned.
Also, like it's just helping Tennessee, like with basketball, especially when unless you're getting the top guys in the country, how many freshmen are really just playing a ton? There's certain few. So like it's very portal heavy. And so I mean, there's not a better team in the country right now that it's selling itself with getting transfers than Tennessee. With Chaz Lanier and Dalton Connect the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Igor.
Jordan Gainey.
It's unreal.
Yep. Agreed. He's Rick Barnes. I mean, for all the talk that he's getting I guess it's kind of died down of not being able to grow as the game's grown. He has won the transfer portal since the transfer portal has really mattered in college basketball. It's been pretty remarkable. And I think he's still going to do it next year. And you hope the freshmen grow, but also it's also one of those things. I think he's now comfortable saying, if you aren't willing to get better when you're here, we'll find someone else.
Yeah, in basketball, it seems like it's such a fit sport too. Like there's obviously guys that like have been here that are super talented that just couldn't cut it here. And then there's guys that like played really well here, went somewhere else, and maybe they aren't getting the same kind of production. And it's not like they probably got worse at basketball. It's just it's a fit thing. And I think Tennessee's culture is right up there with some of the best in the country. But you have to kind of die to yourself a little bit. There's a lot of like, hey, we're here to win as a team, and if you don't kind of fit that mold, you're probably not going to work out here very long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, I was trying to look for them today. All the people that were dogging Tennessee's schedule when the AP poll came out. Also that Kentucky fan who tweeted, "I'm so glad we did not get Chaz Lanier like 2 months ago." Damn. What a tweet. But yeah, Toby Keith once said it. How do you like me now?
Yeah. I mean, Kentucky looks like they're going to be fine. I'm curious how they handle later in the season as well. But
how do they go up against like a good defense? I don't. Do we
yeah,
know
no,
that yet?
There's definitely questions about them. Yeah,
because I mean, Florida scored like 100. They scored 100 points on them. Like they're not scoring 100 points on Tennessee.
Right.
So,
Juwan Jennings, I don't know if this happened before we got on. I don't know, it happened much earlier today.
Yeah, thrown out.
Yeah, for what?
Well, I think he got a personal foul earlier. He bodied a DB.
Second. Okay.
Yeah, and I think he bodied another one in the end zone.
Well, he got thrown around and then engaged the guy. He didn't throw any punches though.
Yeah,
so it was a second personal foul. Okay,
I think so. I don't know. He got tossed, and there was kind of people a little upset about it, but I mean, the guy was just playing football. Even the announcer was like, I mean, that's just hard-nosed football. Like,
Unless it was the second personal foul. Got to be smarter knowing you have one.
Yeah.
But I don't see how that's ejectable without that. Interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you. I just saw that.
No, you're good. I saw that earlier. I think he was, at least at one point before he got ejected, he was the leading receiver and Dobbs was the quarterback. They lost, didn't they? Dang, they did lose
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah. At least it's fun, I guess, for Tennessee fans, but yeah.
Dobbs did throw for 326, 2 interceptions. Juwan Jennings had 7 catches, 52 yards.
He was just shy of 1,000 yards before being ejected. On the season, not in the game. That would be remarkable.
Dang, what did he end up with?
It was like 970 something, wasn't it?
Oh, is it?
Something like that.
Maybe they haven't updated on ESPN. It was 923. Maybe that was going into the game.
No, that might have been it. It might have been a little more shy of it than I thought.
And I think he only played in like 15 games. He didn't play in like 2 of them. Pay the man. Also, since we're on this kind of subject, Joe Milton, good God. It is kind of funny that the one game that the Patriots probably did not want to win, he wins it.
Well, got Rob Mayo fired.
Yeah. Which
that's a ball crime.
That's crazy.
You only win 4 games. It's tough. I don't disagree.
I know, but like who was anybody going to win more than that with that roster? That roster was terrible.
Don't disagree. Year 1, that's tough, but only winning 4 games is also very tough.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if he has any interest in coaching college football, but I got to imagine you can find a place for him on your staff somewhere. Let's become the Fired Coaches Association.
Yeah, rehab.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'd be down for it.
Yeah, it's a tough scene. Also, my Panthers won today. They
Oh, don't start this. Are they your Panthers when they lose?
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever heard you say my Panthers after a loss.
I mean, I really wanted them to lose, and they won too. I don't think some teams understand tanking.
Right, but they weren't going to get the first pick anyways.
No, but now we go from like 5th to 8th.
Wow.
So it is crazy you win 5 games and your 8th pick.
This is
there's a lot of bad teams.
There are a lot. The NIL era has hurt the NFL. I mean, there is some disparity in the NFL right now.
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm sure there's been plenty of years like this. I just doesn't feel like it's happened. There's 2 3-loss teams. 3-win teams. There's 4 5-win teams. Is that right?
Yeah.
And there's 2 4-win teams, I think.
So the Raiders, the Saints.
The Raiders are 4-win team. Sorry.
No, they're 5. They won today, I think.
No, they lost today.
Oh, the Jets won. Sorry.
I'd have to go through it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Raiders lost.
The Browns losing was hilarious. Everyone was all in on Bailey Zappi in the first quarter. I don't know how I ended up on Browns Twitter in the first quarter of that game, but it was nice. The fat guy interception really tied it all together.
Oh God, did you see how much did that guy weigh?
Looking like Mount Cody.
I mean, it looked like somebody. It looked like Big X the plug in pads. Like, I mean, it was. He didn't even look like a football player.
According to his bio on ESPN, he weighs 355 pounds at 6 foot. That's a thick boy.
That is a unit.
I also love that he could have ran for a few more yards. He couldn't have scored a touchdown, but he could have gotten a few more. And he was like, nah, don't need it.
Yeah,
I don't need to pad these stats.
Did you see my tweet about
him? Yeah, I think the running back I created is a little bit faster than that, but yeah, that's him. You're right. Nailed it.
Large and in charge.
Also want to know what that Browns offensive lineman was doing, trying to strip the ball while they were celebrating. It's like, I don't think that counts, man. You got to give up.
Like he slid down and gave himself up, but then there's always kind of that weird, like the NFL is just kind of a weird rule, whereas
yeah, so he got after him, then stopped, and then got after him again before stopping
he was
again.
Like, do I do? He couldn't make up his mind.
It's like, I don't know if I heard the whistle. I don't know.
Yeah.
Play between the whistles here.
Also, Joe getting that win to secure the Titans.
Yeah,
Number one pick.
Doing more for the Titans than Will Levis. Which I know the conversation was Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, but might as well throw Joe Milton in there now.
Yeah, got to. I mean, that's crazy. But I mean, they should have fired everybody for that pick.
I don't even know if they should have taken Hendon Hooker, but I know they shouldn't have taken Will Levis.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
I think if you're taking one of those two quarterbacks, I think you take Hendo, but
I mean, he's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in the NFL. It's so bad.
I think you could have stopped it. He's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen.
That too.
I mean, listen, he may have been good in college. He just wasn't good against Tennessee in college. And that's the only time I watched that pitiful Kentucky team.
What? And that's the thing is yeah, Joe Milton was getting kind of he has the potential to be like a high draft pick. Will Levis was always considered that, but never really showed it in college. It's one thing C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, those guys were really good in college. Will Levis was not that great in college and was still getting he's probably the top quarterback coming out of.
If you transfer to Kentucky as a quarterback, there will be a 2-month span where people wonder, is this the best transfer in college football?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no, but the question will be asked.
Yeah, there's one practice highlight that goes around and you're like, I mean, this could be it.
And you will have 4 or 5 minimum fans immediately go pay their Cricket Wireless bill for the month so that they can tweet about this Heisman contender based on a throw they saw in practice.
Who's their quarterback next?
Who's a mediocre transfer? Don't you dare do it, Gaston. Vandergriff retired, Jeff.
Yeah,
Vandergriff retired from football. He couldn't have even done it in a cool way like that Washington guy who declared himself for the job market. So that's a good point. Why? So we talked about, I thought John Campbell had another year based on him declaring for the NFL draft. Do you have to declare for the NFL draft now as a senior? Or are you just letting NFL teams know you're available? Are you changing your relationship status on Facebook to single? You're like, I'm available. Why are seniors declaring for the NFL draft?
It's something to put an announcement out. I don't know.
That's true. Putting announcements out are the best. You're right.
I forgot who Kentucky got in the transfer portal. I now remember.
I know
it is, in fact, a mediocre quarterback. Zach Calzada.
Zach Calzada?
Yeah.
He just seems like is he like a 5th-year senior? He seems like he's been in college football for a while.
He was at A&M, and then he was at where did he go after A&M?
He started a few games at A&M, didn't he?
And I think he was at Auburn.
Over Haynes King, right?
He's the one that beat Alabama when they beat him.
But yeah, he started over Haynes King, right?
Yeah.
What a story to tell.
And then he was at Incarnate Word last year.
What?
Yeah, and then Kentucky's like, that's who we want.
Bob Stoops knows how to pick him, man.
That's
Bob
crazy.
Stoops. Mark Stoops.
Mark Stoops, yeah. It's the Stoops. They suck. All of them suck.
Yeah. Wow, Zach Calzada. I wonder how old he is.
I mean, this got to be it, right? He threw for 35 touchdowns, 350 yards at Incarnate Word.
He'll be 24 years old this football season.
We were actually watching their game in the FCS playoffs. They were getting smacked by somebody, but
Was he playing?
He was playing,
Okay.
but it was like in the freezing cold. It was in the mud. And I was like, man, that guy looks familiar. Who is that? And it popped up Zach Calzada. I was like, oh my God, blast from the past. It's still one of my favorite things to do is like look through rosters and find like players that you're like, oh, I remember him.
So Calzada started after Haynes King got injured in 2021. He was at Texas A&M in 2019.
Yeah, because it was between Zach Calzada or Brian Maurer. We were going to get either one of those guys, and we got.
He played 3 years at A&M, transferred to Auburn, and then transferred to Incarnate Word. How does this man have any eligibility?
You're telling me, man.
He was at Incarnate Word for 2 years. This dude's a 6-year senior.
Is he gonna?
That is the worst case scenario. That is the worst case scenario for Kentucky. Not only are you getting a mediocre transfer quarterback, he's a 6-year senior. He's gonna suck. Is he their starter? Is it like he's gonna be their starter, right?
It's either him or that Gavin Wimsatt guy, and he sucks. So I mean, it's they don't have a good option. So,
God, Kentucky's so back. They're back to being Kentucky. They just never changed. Never changed, Stoops. That's incredible. He went to Lanier High School. Who else went there? In Georgia. I feel like there was a Tennessee guy who went there. Maybe not. Their Wikipedia doesn't have the up-to-date notable alumni page.
Yeah. Brian Maurer and Zach Calzada were ranked right next to each other for 247.
I will say this. I think if I have it all to do over again, I'd take Zach Calzada.
Same.
Just so like you don't think I'm just hating on Zach Calzada, I would like to just be honest about it for a second. That's incredible.
God, I'm just looking for this 2019 quarterbacks.
Not a good class.
Spencer Rattler, Ryan Helinski, Graham Mertz, to his little brother, Hank
What
Bachmeyer.
happened to him?
Who knows? Paul Tyson, Connor Bazelak.
Connor Bazelak. Where was he at this year? He ended up at a random school, right?
Yeah. Where was he at? He was at Bowling Green.
That's it. Yep. Played him in one of my dynasties when I was at Western Michigan. I know that guy.
That's crazy. Keaton Slovis was in this. Dylan Gabriel was in this.
Nice. We did get a question here about Josh Heupel tweeted GBO. What does that mean? That means go big orange. For those not in the know. And I'm sorry, Jeff. You did tell us breaking news from Jeff Harrison. Tyron Evans, 2026 wide receiver, committed to Tennessee tonight.
Yeah, you did. Out of that Charlotte area. So, I mean, don't really know a whole lot about him. 6'3", 180 out of William Amos High School. Yeah, Tennessee's done a really good job recruiting North Carolina and get another wide receiver. It looks like going to be an outside guy and him being 6'3", so good get. And, yeah, we'll see kind of how the summer goes and senior year because it's so early. But
Gonna be a. Can't wait to see what Caleb Webb tweets about it. That's crazy. That's crazy behavior. He's now posted 2 things about Tennessee since he's left.
Well, then there's so many people that reply. I'm like, dude, just ignore him.
Ignore it. Who cares? He's gone. Sayonara. Drop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll be hanging on. I'm gonna go ahead and put on notifications for him.
Well, that's
see what happens.
The thing is, like, he's the one going on live, like saying, Kelsey Pope sucks, this and that. Mike Matthews doesn't come back if Kelsey Pope is the entire problem.
Which is why I said when everyone was like, fire him. It's time. I was like, we haven't been saying it the whole time. Let's pump the brakes on this one.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're telling me a former employee hates his boss? No. Get out of town. That's never happened, Landon. It's so obscure. Yeah. And listen, maybe time for Kelsey Pope to go on. I don't think so. And I think from, like you said, the evidence around it doesn't seem like it. But yeah, that's a good pickup. It's a good pickup.
Yeah, Tyron Evans. Not to be confused with
Tyon
Evans.
Before I can't read and I'm blind, I saw Tyron Evans and I was like,
with COVID years,
you got eligibility.
Know. Yeah, he wasn't JUCO, so I don't know.
Yeah,
he's still trying to make a comeback.
Right. I think he should. Well, where did he go after Tennessee? Louisville.
Yeah.
Love it.
Don't know what he did there, but something, I guess.
Also, Tennessee still being able to recruit North Carolina, even with Bill Belichick there.
Crazy. I mean, just kind of like going off transfers and stuff. Yes, Squirrel White and Jason Jenkins are making their way south to Tallahassee. And some of y'all were like, oh, yeah, Squirrel's going closer to home. Tallahassee is actually further from his home. So I think if that is the case with any transfer, I think it's just safe to say bullcrap.
Well, what about direct flights? Have we consider that?
I don't know.
How much farther is Tallahassee?
I think it's like 2 or 3 hours.
Really?
I think so.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed that, but interesting.
Yeah.
What if Tallahassee feels like home? Is that factor into closer to home?
Also, I found a recruiting video of him on his visit at Florida State, and he mentions he's like, yeah, like I just wanted the reason I got in the portal. I just wanted to get the ball in my hands more. I'm like,
have you considered not jumping to get the ball in your hands more?
I mean, maybe have a arm that works.
Right.
Might help a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people might be like, maybe he caught the ball too much.
I don't think he caught the ball enough. Did he get targeted too much? That's another argument.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. I don't know. That's just whatever. I mean, hope he finds what he's looking for. I just don't know how I'll go to Florida State right now and thinking like this is where I want to call.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean, you think a 10-3 season at Tennessee was, a little disappointing? Imagine what Florida State fans were thinking last year. Or this year.
Yeah.
I mean, this year.
Well, and they're still waiting on that one dude to eat dog shit before they can move on. So that's like, if you're a recruit, you have to consider, if I go here, is that dude going to eat dog shit? Otherwise, we're going to lose again.
Yeah. I don't know. The Jason Jenkins thing kind of makes sense to me because, I mean, Jared Verse went there and, they've had some really good – Brian Burns went there. They've had some really good ends and edge players do well in the NFL. Now, I'm not saying Jason Jenkins is that, but he's shown flashes. So, maybe the Squirrel Y thing makes no sense to me. Who's their quarterback?
Find another mediocre transfer. It's probably who it's going to be. I don't know. Who is it? College football playoff won't even look at him right now, considering the circumstances. Won't even consider it.
Is he going to be Brock Glenn?
That dude sounds like he's got a long neck.
Oh no, it is another. It is the Boston College guy.
Oh, good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't. That should be a rule that you can't transfer to a team that has the exact same colors as your former team.
Agreed. I don't know how do you say that? Castanelos?
Castanelos.
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah, whatever. He is from Boston College going to Florida State. Hey, good luck to you. We did have a kind of emergency episode the other day when Mike Matthews did announce, or I guess it was news that he was returning to Tennessee, not going into the portal.
Yeah, so go listen to that. We're not repeating ourselves here. You can give YouTube. You can click on it.
There you go. Yeah, it's a big get to get him back, especially with, it wasn't a guy you wanted to lose. I don't think it was when you wanted to replace and go have to pay a lot of money to replace what kind of production he was going to give you next year. So it is funny. I think on 3 Sports, I think we tell them to stop tweeting about Tennessee in general.
Okay.
They tweeted Tennessee was going all in on Zachariah Branch. He didn't even visit, so I don't know how you go all in without getting a visit.
And I didn't know this, but apparently he had a no contact.
Oh, did he?
That's what someone tweeted. So I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't know. I think Tennessee needs to have another wide receiver. I just think with a junior or is Brazel a redshirt? No, he would be a redshirt, right? Redshirt sophomore. So. Redshirt junior. He'll be a redshirt junior next year. And then 2 sophomores, and then the rest are freshmen. Tennessee needs to have another veteran presence in that room. I don't know where you get that, but right. I do think Tennessee needs.
I think still need to go get somebody for sure.
Yeah.
Getting Mike Matthews back out of the portal is big. We talked about it before. I said going back into winter and losing the portal, it'd be tough. It'd not impossible, but it'd be tough to win the transfer portal if you lose Mike Matthews. Keeping him allows you to still do that.
Yeah.
Which we also haven't heard for sure about Amari Jefferson, which would be a big get.
Yeah, that's a big option too. But
he's also young and unproven.
Yeah. So, and he had 0.
You're essentially recruiting a freshman in him.
Yeah.
But a freshman who's been on college campus for a year, so he does have that added benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see what they do. Obviously, not really a ton going on right now. It looks maybe Amari Jefferson is like the only one that makes sense. Zion Branch committed to Georgia. But going back to the On 3 should stop. They're the ones that tweeted the prediction for the Northwestern guy, and then apparently LSU offered him a buttload of money, and then he went to LSU. So, On 3, please stop tweeting about Tennessee.
Like, how dumb. Like, this kid went to Northwestern. He's supposed to be smart, and he decided to go play for Brian Kelly. Idiot.
Yeah. Everybody knows life expectancy goes down when you play for Brian Kelly.
I hate Notre Dame. Watching them be more successful after Brian Kelly leaves does warm my heart a little bit.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike Matthews, big get. We'll see who else they land. But Tennessee kind of goes unscathed a little bit in the transfer portal. Like, no one you can't replace.
Right.
Or no one anybody's really upset that they left either.
You love to see it.
Yep. All right, let's get into some returners for next year. Let's rank our top 5 returners.
Oh, well.
Monty did ask you a question about Florida. We kind of talked about it a little bit. We'll go back. You want to start at number 5?
How are we doing this then? Sorry.
We can go back. Like, I have 5. If you want to have 5.
Okay. I didn't know what you meant when you said you want to start at 5. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll start it. I don't know how to.
I just rank these kind of on importance.
Yeah, we'll see if I can correctly justify number 5 here.
Okay.
I just think there's a lot of critical things, like things that are more critical than him. Well, how did you frame this before?
I kind of did it like at importance, like for next year.
Okay, then this probably doesn't make much sense. Let me readjust my 5. We'll go with number 5 then. Boo Carter, and
Okay.
Don't you dare change your number, you son of a bitch! Don't you even think about it.
Yeah, do not change your number. I like that. That's good.
If he changes his number, go ahead and just X him off this list. He doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't work out very well when people start doing that.
All right, number 5 for you.
Actually, there was one. Cedric Tillman.
He got hurt. He was a non-factor.
He was a 1,000-yard receiver as number 4 after he changed his number.
Was he 1,000 yards number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if he changed it in 2022 or 2021.
Yeah, it was when Josh Heupel got here, I think, is when he changed that.
That doesn't count then. That's a reset of the whole system. That doesn't count.
Fair enough. I'm going to go. I think this could go either way. I put Chris Brazzell or Mike Matthews. I think it's whoever that number 1 receiver is who is super important next year because of, I mean, there's just so much production. Like Dante Thornton had a lot of production, Brew, Squirrel. Like, this guy has to have a huge season next year for Tennessee to be successful.
Yeah.
And probably both of them do, but I think your number 1 receiver especially.
Sure. Absolutely.
Number 4, I had Boo Carter. But I'm with you. Don't change the number. But if he's going to be playing all over the field, I think he has to be on this list somewhere. He had a ton of production this year. I'm interested to see kind of what he plays offensively. But, yeah, it should be fun to watch next year. And he was another big get that you didn't lose in the portal. So,
yeah. Mine is a pair of guys similarly to you, Jermon McCoy and Ricky Gibson. Gonna anchor that back end again. Got to be good. Got to be solid. Don't drop off, please. Don't think about it. Just do it. Don't drop off. Just do the job.
Yeah. I almost put McCoy, but I'm like, he is important, but I think he can just he's kind of already.
But getting him back was massive. That's
agreed.
Both of them, I think, really.
Yeah. You want to go number 3? Just go. Was that your number 3?
That was my number 4.
Okay. You want to go 3 and then I'll go 3?
Oh yeah. Sorry. I guess I didn't realize you went 4. I wasn't noticing. Monty actually mentioned Kitzelman, and I was going to lean more Ethan Davis. So I guess I'll see your, let's talk about that one. I don't know who you view as more important, Ethan Davis or Kitzelman. I think getting Kitzelman back is massive, but I also think we've got to want to go to Ethan Davis. He's more of a dynamic tight end. I feel like he's more important to the progression of his offense than Kitzelman is. But Kitzelman's obviously going to be the first guy right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think about not putting Jermod McCoy in here, is because he's already kind of solidified himself. Super important for the defense, but I mean he's already probably your top guy on the defense. So,
you did
yeah,
5 returners.
Huh?
You did say top 5 returners.
Yeah, I did. I kind of did a little differently, so that's not bad. But yeah, I would probably go Ethan Davis just because you need, especially with what
you know
got,
what you're going to get out of Kitzelman.
Yeah,
I don't think he can change your offense much.
Ethan Davis and how much better does Miles Kitzelman get? I think Ethan Davis can get a lot better than Yeah. My number 3 is Arian Carter.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee kind of, when Keenan Peely left, I think those two, T-Lander and him, played well. But there was something just a little bit missing, and you felt it when Keenan Peely was out for the season. So I just want to see another year of him, another year being the quarterback of that defense and really being a leader of this entire team. So I'd Arian Carter.
I like it.
Nephew.
Number 2?
Number 2, I got Peyton Lewis.
Okay.
I think whoever your top running back is has to be a bell cow. And right now this is a money year for him. He has to come in, and him or Deshaun Bishop's a great complimentary back, but I think Peyton Lewis has the upside to really be the next great running back at Tennessee.
I have questions about the speed. I think this offense needs a quicker back, but I think he's also going to be very, very critical to Tennessee's offense. And I mean, I think he's probably going to be your number 1 guy.
Yeah. Which is crazy, the speed. He's a track guy. He runs a 10.7 or 10.5, 100 meter. It's there. It's just got to show up on the field. Sure. And I don't think you've seen that yet. Which Dylan Sampson and
let me see his 40 in pads before.
Yeah. Dylan Sampson, we always heard about that. There was times where he got hawked some too. It just, not everybody's, just because they're a track guy, not everybody's Tyreek Hill.
Right. Which is a good thing.
Right.
By the way. Number 2, I think running back's really critical. I was going to go that same direction. I haven't done much to the defensive side of the ball. I'm not sure who the most critical one is, who your top one is going to be. You have Joshua Josephs obviously coming back. Jason Jenkins is a guy who really had burst moments this year. Really kind of showed what he can do in some big moments this year.
Well, he's gone.
Did he transfer?
Yeah, Florida State.
I missed that.
Yeah.
When did I didn't see him transfer, which makes sense because it has been stupid. And I can't keep up. In fact, the only ones I'm confident that transferred are Nate Spillman and Caleb Webb because I've seen them comment about it. Speaking of people making announcements, has Dylan Sampson declared for the NFL draft?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if I'd seen that or not. I was going to say we should just say he's coming back and just ride it out. See if maybe he sees a tweet about it and he's like, I'm coming back.
Well, Monty brings up a good one. Joshua Josephs, like, does he get any kind of? I mean, he's draft eligible. Does he get a? He had a really good year this year. I think it would probably he'd probably be better off if he came back because I think you could really help your draft grade being the top edge rusher for Tennessee. But I don't know. Like,
I think he comes back. I would think.
that's what I think so too. But
I think Tyree West is another interesting one on there because I don't know who that guy's going to be because there's not a James Pierce right now. But there are guys who can play at similar levels, and you saw that this year.
Yeah,
not in their just flat out pass rushing ability, but in terms of just being a solid edge rusher.
Yeah, Jordan Ross is he a guy that emerges this year?
So I don't know who to put. I don't know who to put on that defensive line. I think there are options. So I think number 2 is just what was your 5?
It was Chris Browser or Mike Matthews.
Yeah, so same deal. I want to put like an insert.
Whoever
who is your James Pierce?
Okay. Yeah, and I think it could be easily Tyree West or Joshua Joseph. Probably Joshua Joseph's got a better.
I think he has more.
He's more of an edge guy than Tyree West is.
See, I think Tyree West has more of that speed that James Pierce does, but Joshua Joseph has the range to affect more of the game. Well, he's also just like he is get quarterback or see quarterback, get quarterback. Like he has more of that.
Yeah.
Water boy in him, we'll call that. Not like get water for teams, but like the movie Water Boy. Just fast. Quick.
Lance Hurd's a good one. I think he needs to take a step.
This is where my number 1 really battles. It's like, do you go with Nico or your offensive line?
Yeah. I put Nico just because, like, I mean, you're only as good as your quarterback.
Your quarterback's only as good as his offensive line.
That's true.
That's the thing with Mike Matthews. Everyone's like, it's about the production of this Tennessee offense. Okay, did he go and sign 5-star offensive linemen? Because if he didn't, then I don't know if it matters.
Yeah. Will Brooks announced his goodbye to Tennessee. He didn't declare for the draft. He just said thank you.
He didn't declare for the job market either. So he's holding out hope.
No.
Listen, they don't make ball hawks like Will Brooks anymore. Somebody needs to sign him. Dude, if Bill Belichick was in the NFL, he'd be salivating over that chance. He'd be like, that is a slot receiver if I've ever seen one.
Well, I mean, like, Jalen McCullough was okay at Tennessee. I didn't think he would go off like he does with the Rams.
You calling it for Will Brooks now?
I mean, it's all about fit. I mean, I didn't think Emmanuel Mosley would ever play in the NFL, really.
Yeah. I mean, no, I didn't think he had a chance. I would like to note, because my ears are starting to hurt for some reason, in case the picture surfaces of me at the basketball game yesterday, plugging my ears, I need that to be known that was while Stir the Pearl was on the mic. And it was awful. Awful. Truly awful. Just like someone tell him to stop yelling. The mic is made to amplify his voice. He doesn't need to scream in it. Let's go. That thing, that kills me. What are we doing? Nothing gets me less fired up for Tennessee athletics than Stir the Pearl.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to watch. It's tough to listen to. Well, and now he's at everything.
Whatever Tennessee
he used to be like, oh great, like he's not. He didn't use. Now he's at baseball games. Like I cannot get away.
Is he
from
really?
This, man. Yeah.
Whatever Tennessee is paying him, I will pay them to not pay him. So that's 100% increase. I will donate that amount to the University of Tennessee. That's 100% increase in revenue right there. Your move, Danny White. What if we found out they were paying him like 6 figures to do that job? Like, oh, pump the brakes.
Yeah. Are you gonna throw your name in the hat
For DJ Stir the Pearl?
Yeah.
If I did, I just want everybody to know I would go the opposite direction and be the most subdued person on planet Earth. Like, you guys want to do the Vols spell out? Nope. Okay, that's your call. If you don't want to do it now, we won't. But I think we should. But I get it. We're down 14. Probably not the time. They yesterday at the basketball game. This is the first time I've seen this. 2 things on the basketball game that I didn't talk about. They did a donor of the game or something like that. And I think they should rank donors now based on the percentage of their income that they give.
Wait, what?
Which part are you confused about?
The donor? You said
They just like honored some guy. They're like, he's giving a lot of money to Tennessee. Here's him at the game. And it was him on the video board. And I think that donors should be ranked on the percentage of their income. Because like these millionaires giving chump change to them, I don't think that should count. They're not sacrificing, Landon.
I like that. Does do you think Tony Vitello gets a little annoyed with all the donors that like try to act like his best friend at games?
If he does, he probably just opens up his bank account app and has to stop being annoyed by it. You talking about Larry Pratt in that tight sweater hugging him?
Yeah.
Also, another weird thing at the basketball game. Did you see the guy playing guitar standing on a box? Very weird. They had a guy just come out after they play like the intro video before Tennessee runs out. They had a guy playing guitar. Arkansas runs out while they're doing this. And then they stop the guy doing it, play another song, and Tennessee runs out. It looks like we played Arkansas onto the floor in a unique way. It was very weird. Like one of the worst game day operations coordination things I've ever seen. It was the strangest thing on planet Earth. Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in basketball games. Like,
I don't think they figured out the magic yet.
You remember the thing where like they had like I guess a college student just going around trying to hype everybody up on the court? Do you remember that a couple years ago before Sterling Pearl was there?
The guy that announced the team that was really lame?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want him back though. He didn't exactly scream into the mic. He wasn't quiet into the mic, and it was weird, but also they need to understand there's something special about sports, like an old white guy, like a 6-foot guard from Charlotte, North Carolina. Like that's, there's something like you need those kind of starting lineups.
Yeah, you need like an old. I mean, just have Bert do it.
I mean, they do good with it now. Bert would be like Sterling Pearl.
Somebody
this
brought up
nasty.
Somebody
He's from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Was like, y'all hate on Sterling Pearl, but want Mike Keith. That's crazy. They both yell into a mic. I'm like, one is extremely obnoxious. One gets fired up at a play. One gets fired up at a pin dropping on the floor.
Anything. Also, I can turn my radio down. I can't control the stadium volume, unfortunately. If I could, I would.
Yeah.
And then Sterling Pearl, if I can control the volume, you can have Sterling Pearl at any event you'd like. Who said that?
I forgot. I think it was just a random I was looking at message boards the other day, which is dumb of me, but
they're fun. They're fun to scroll. Yeah, Monty. He's just yelling money over and over.
Jeff
brought up
Harrison said who fell down more, Squirrel White or Todd Kelly Jr.?
Todd Kelly caught the ball when he fell down, though. That's the difference. I don't think Todd Kelly caught an interception. Todd Kelly Jr. caught an interception at Tennessee without falling down immediately after.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable.
Yeah. He was afraid of beating Eric Berry's record of return yards.
He didn't want to do it. I don't deserve this.
All right, college football playoff.
Hold on. You did mention message boards. November 21st, someone said, I guess someone just brought this back to light. Has anyone witnessed a Rick Barnes team practice? Does it involve shooting? Are baskets involved? That was posted November 21st, 2023 or 2024. Well before Tennessee was the number one team. And I mean, full disclosure, when you watch Chaz Lanier shoot, it's ugly. It's not pretty. By golly, it works.
Goes in, baby.
That's got to drive Rick Barnes nuts. Like, I can't fix this shot, but man, do I want to.
Have you thought about being a lefty?
You might be. You're left-handed, right? This is a joke. Rick Barnes probably did try to change him to left-handed because he loves left-handers. Oh, my favorite part about this is November 21st, we played in a ballroom in the Bahamas.
That might have been the time where that Kentucky fan
tweeted that about Chaz Lanier.
Yeah, I'm so glad we didn't get Chaz Lanier.
Well, the next night, he led Baylor for like 15 minutes of gameplay by himself.
Yeah. Somebody did ask about Florida real quick. So, kind of a preview with them. Lost Kentucky, their first game. They played Virginia, Florida State, North Carolina. Like, those their three like bigger games, and they won all those games pretty handedly. So I think they're a good basketball team. Walter Clayton Jr. is really good. They have Elijah Martin, who was at FAU for 4 years. He actually played, I think he scored 9 points against Tennessee in that. Was that the Elite Eight or Sweet 16?
So, sorry, I was reading.
That was Sweet 16, right?
Okay. Sure. I don't know what you said.
When Tennessee played FAU 2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Elijah Martin scored 9 points in that game. Walter Clayton Jr., both those guys, I think, are scoring over 18 points per game. Both guards, so I'm interested to see kind of who Jemai is on in that game. They also have Condon, who is a 6'11" sophomore, bigger guy. I think he averages like 12 points, 8 rebounds a game. So, going to be a challenge for the front court, but also the back court with those scoring guards. I mean, Kentucky scored 106 points on them. I don't think their defense is very good, so that's got to be good news for Lanier and Zakai and everybody else Jordan Gainey, that can score the basketball. So, it should be a good matchup. Going to Florida is, going on the road in this conference is not easy. But I'm sure Tennessee, that defense is going to travel, so I'm sure they'll be up for the challenge.
Yeah. And they're not playing the 7-4 guy. He's redshirting.
Yeah,
Do you think they'll ever play him? He's not. He doesn't look good.
First guy off the bus kind of thing.
I don't know if he can ride on the bus.
They just strap him to the top.
He's like a kayak.
Yeah.
Well, canoe is probably more accurate. Yeah. Monty mentioned them being a fast break team. They're really athletic. I'm curious to see if more teams do it. I think teams that want to take advantage of Tennessee have to force us to bring the ball 90 feet. We don't have a ton of ball handlers. And you either got to make Zakabi Iron Man or Turner. Like, if he's out of the game, especially, I would be full court press.
Yeah, they tried to get Bishop Boswell in the game kind of early in the first half, like 8 minutes, I think, left, and he turned the ball over and went out and never came back in. So,
well, he had already played his minute, Landon. So
yeah, I mean, there was definitely a short leash with, but I think they want to have somebody be able to give Zakai a break, especially with the lack of depth that you have. I just don't know how much of an option that really is, though.
Right.
I mean, Jordan Gainey showed it in Illinois. Like, he's good enough. I mean, driving to the basket, Jordan Gainey's your best one.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now.
I mean, he looks good going to the basket. Keep doing that. That's fun to watch.
Yep.
And it's cool when you knock down a 3-2, but him going to the basket is art at times.
Yeah. Agreed with that, Monty. Dubar has to be more impactful, especially as we get into SEC play. You're going to struggle with just 8, 9 guys at times if you can get more out of Boswell. Let's not make it 7 guys. That'll make it a lot harder.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think Cade is another one. Like, he needs to be more impactful when he's in the game, and not just against bad opponents. Like, he needs to show up against good opponents and do what he does. I mean, he's super athletic and has nice touch around the rim. He's also kind of all over the court. So, need to see more from both those guys for sure.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Agreed.
What do you think the best game is? I think we're all kind of probably going to agree on this, but
say that again. I'm sorry.
Do you think it's Ohio State, Texas, or you think it's Penn State, Notre Dame? Better game.
Better. Ooh. Really depends on how good Ohio State looks. It's probably Notre Dame, Penn State's probably going to be the better game. Like, it's probably going to be more interesting, more intrigue.
Yeah.
Like I said, the casuals will hate it. It is going to be big boy football. Line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, Ohio State has the ability to be a good game, but if Texas defense doesn't show up how they have to, they could also get run out of the building.
Is Notre Dame, Penn State, are they like the same football team? They have
Possibly.
A quarterback that runs it a lot, that's pretty athletic, really
to be
good
determined.
Offensive and defensive lines, and really good running backs. And besides Faison at Notre Dame, I don't think you could name a single wide receiver at either program. So,
yeah.
I think Ohio State probably blows out Texas.
I think more than likely that is the scenario.
Yeah.
Their offense can't score. If Sark is any kind of smart, surely we get a Manning sighting. Does he throw an interception on the first play? Possible. But you were going to do it for you.
We saw it against Alabama. An interception can get your whole team going.
That's right. That's right.
God, somebody's going to look out and get Gaston more in the transfer portal, and they're going to be set. I don't know why his NIL deal isn't insane. I mean, he's basically a coach. He's been there 6 years, so.
Right.
Up it up some. So who are you picking in these games? I guess we both said
I take Ohio State, and I think I would unfortunately take Penn State right now. I think they're probably the more dynamic offense. I think Penn State last I checked was favored by like 5.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's right, but I think this is a Big Ten final, unfortunately.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. And I don't think it's going to be if that's the case, I just don't see it being a very, very interesting final.
I'm not cheering for anyone. I wanted that to be noted.
Yeah. It would be cool to see
The world
I don't-
end. Agreed.
Well, yeah. I don't want Notre Dame to win. I'd like to see anybody but Ohio State win.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I know some Tennessee fans will be like, but they beat us, so shouldn't they be like we want to? No.
No.
I'm good. Pass. If Michigan fans care at all, they would be funding a Connor Stallions fund to go to Texas, Notre Dame, and Penn State this week and start working on some signals.
Yeah.
Get a backbone, Michigan fans. Get a backbone. I
Yeah,
think,
let 'em start
actually,
kicking
yeah,
it
let's put this out here, Landon. If Ohio State wins, that Michigan championship is negated. If your rival wins the year after, you don't get to count that you're national champion anymore.
Okay.
Unless Vanderbilt wins in baseball somehow. Don't see it happening, then that rules out the window. But
For this argument.
yep.
I mean, do you see any way where it's not Ohio State that wins the whole thing? Like, is their best option to lose this
I
week,
think-
or is it in the final?
It's in the final. I don't
Okay.
think they lose. I would be shocked if they lost this week over the
Yeah.
final.
Yeah. God, it's gonna suck if Notre Dame wins. And actually, Notre Dame or Penn State, and I got to cheer for James Franklin or Notre Dame.
Not cheering for anyone.
Yeah, that's a good point. Pulling for, cheering for is not wanting to win is different than cheering for.
Fair.
I'll not be cheering. Period.
Any other questions that we missed along the way?
Let me check these real quick. Yeah, we do. Who is the hardest person to replace on this football team next year?
Dylan Sampson. Give me a harder one next time.
Yeah. Okay, let's go besides Dylan Sampson then.
Can't change the question on me.
Is it Cooper Mays?
Probably. That's probably the right answer. I was going to go just because it seems like we didn't replace him, Keenan Peely. But yeah, probably Cooper Mays.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any, I mean, from production, I mean, you're losing your most productive wide receiver too, and Dante Thornton. That's tough. A guy like James Pierce is tough to replace.
Right. That's a tough one to replace. But also, I think you can replace his production. Maybe not like the things teams had to do to defend him, but I think you can replace his production.
Yeah. I think that's all the questions we got for this one. Yeah, if y'all have any, while we do our segments real quick, if y'all have any more questions, drop those in the chat. We'll get to those. Also, guys, go check out our good friends at Hovey Dry Goods. More Important Issues is brought to you by Hovey Dry Goods. Go to hoveydrygoods.com and use promo code MORE for 15% off your purchase. They just have amazing hats for, they have some Tennessee styled ones. They have a lot of teams. If you do have friends or family that you don't want to claim but need to buy a present for, go ahead and check them out. And again, use promo code MORE for 15% off that purchase. All right, segments. Most important.
Most important. You go ahead and go first. I've got one I need to show you.
Okay.
I'll have it ready in hopefully just a second here.
My first one was going to be Stephen Bunting.
Okay.
It's
a soft name.
He's at the World Darts Championship.
Oh,
Have you seen his walkout?
Yeah. Yeah.
Titanium. Oh, that fires me up. There's nothing like an overweight guy getting fired up to titanium.
Well, and then him singing it. That really,
yeah. Singing your own walkout song is awesome.
yeah. I was showing that. I was like, "Look at the World Darts Championships. Aren't these sick?" To my girlfriend on last night. I was like, "This is awesome." I showed her that video, and she's like, "I don't think he really looks into it." And then he got on stage, started singing. And she's like, "Never mind. Yeah, he's into it." I was like, "Yeah, he is." He was 100% into it. And
Don't know if he won or not, but I hope he did. I'm a big Stephen Bunting guy now.
He would be a Stephen Bunting guy. Sorry about that.
You good? I can't hear you.
Because I'm an idiot. I muted it. Two things about the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Number one, did you see the tweet that someone was like, if God is real, Duke's May or North Carolina win the Duke's Mayo Bowl next year?
Next year,
yeah. And then did you see the trophy celebration, the post game?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to post. Dang it. Why does sharing screen recordings work sometimes and others it doesn't on this?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. This is very frustrating. Okay. We'll just
I think Bill Belichick's walkout song needs to be like Chandler Jones singing that song about Bill Belichick. Have you heard that?
I don't think I have.
Oh, dude. It's incredible. Let me see if I can. I think you've seen this.
Oh, how I miss you. Just want to kiss you. They just got rid of you. Oh, Bill Belichick. You didn't flatten that ball. It was Tom Brady. You didn't spygate. You didn't deflategate. He's innocent. So what's fire him?
Oh, that's so great.
That's solid stuff. Well, you won't be able to watch it, and I feel like it's a good watch, but here's the